I won't go, Gordon grumbled one morning. Well, it looks like you don't have a choice, said Henry. Why can't you do it? Gordon grumbled. Why does the Fat Controller always rely on me to do duties like this? Because for one thing, huffed Henry, I'm still adjusting to the special coal, and my name is not Gordon, nor am I painted blue. Gordon sulked. Not too long ago, he had rescued Percy from a big bank of earth after Percy had prevented a serious accident. Gordon had rescued Percy with a mechanism that the Fat Controller had made. It was a towing winch, and since Gordon was the strongest engine on the railway, the Fat Controller had requested him to come to the yards whenever he could and do a series of tests with the cable. But he was not happy about it. For goodness sake, Gordon, just get on with it, Edward snorted. Fine, huffed Gordon, but I'm only doing it because I want you all off the back of my buffers. And once Gordon was in steam, he puffed importantly away. He's getting worse every day, exclaimed Henry. Edward muttered in agreement. Cheer up, Gordon, said the Fat Controller. I won't be keeping much of your time. I just want to see what this winch is capable of. Yes, sir, Gordon muttered miserably. Over the next few days, which to Gordon felt like years, the Fat Controller would have the workmen derail trucks and coaches across the yard. Using the winch, Gordon would then pull them back on the rails again. But it soon became clear that Gordon's heart was not on the job. He just wanted to go back to the express and feel important again. But with this towing winch, Gordon just felt useless. A few weeks later, and Gordon was still being put through his paces with the winch. Even after Henry came back from his rebuilding crew, Gordon was still miserable. One evening, the engines returned one by one at work to notice Gordon sulking. Well, isn't this a sight for sore eyes? Smirked James as he backed in. What's the matter, Gordon? Not enjoying your new rollers rescue vehicle? It's degrading, Gordon snorted. I just want to pull coaches again. Is that too much to ask? Typical, exclaimed Henry. I've been away at crew for goodness knows how long, and as soon as I come back it's the same old story, Gordon. Perhaps the Fat Controller should send you over next. Gordon gave Henry a cold stare. You just go to sleep like a sensible engine, he retorted. The engines did just that. But Henry would soon face the wrath of Gordon's temper the next morning, when he had a lot to say about whistling loudly in stations. A few more days went by, and Gordon was looking more and more depressed than ever. Just when he thought his spirits couldn't be any lower, Thomas scampered up from the branch line with Annie and Clarabelle. He dropped them off at the platform and went to get himself a drink. There he is, Thomas chuckled as he pulled up next to Gordon. Well, if it isn't Sodor's first locomotive-powered tow truck. How are we, Gordon? Gordon looked miserable. Recently he had fallen into a ditch, and James and Henry had to pull him out. Never mind, Gordon, said Thomas. What you need is a good drink. May I recommend ditch water? All right, Thomas, that's enough, said his driver. Come on, you've got your train to take back. Thomas giggled to himself and scampered off. Goodbye, Gordon, he called. Take my advice. Add a crane arm on your tender and you will look like a tow truck in no time. And off he scampered, laughing at his own wit. Oh, the indignity, Gordon whimpered. Wake up, Gordon, called his driver as he and the fireman came hurrying over. The Fat Controller needs you urgently. Gordon was about to reply when he noticed the winch being fastened to his buffer beam. I will not wear this again, he thundered. What's next? Does Markley need rescuing? No, said the fireman. Thomas does. Thomas? Asked Gordon. He's had an accident at the lead mine, said the driver. We're to go and help him. An accident? Asked Gordon. What kind of accident? What's going on? Spit it out, gentlemen. Thomas has fallen down a mine, said the fireman. The ground's not level enough for a crane, so the Fat Controller wants you to pull him out with the winch. For the first time in a while, a big smile spread across Gordon's face. Well, what are we waiting for? He cried. Let's go! Down a mine, is he? Ha ha ha! Laughed Gordon. What a joke! In no time at all, Gordon arrived at the lead mine. Thomas was looking miserable. The Fat Controller was also there, watching the operation. The cable on the winch was attached to Thomas's back coupling, and using every ounce of steam he had, Gordon pulled Thomas safely out of the hole. The two engines reconciled at once and formed an alliance. As Thomas and Gordon puffed buffer to buffer back home, Thomas smiled. Thank you, Gordon, he said appreciatively. And again, I'm sorry for teasing you. Do you know something? I think you're the most useful rescue engine the island of Sodor has to offer. And as the two friends headed back to the shed, Gordon smiled. For the first time since he had been using it, he finally admitted that his cable was really useful after all.